Hi, I'm Rachel, and I'm a mindful movement guide based out of Salt Lake City, Utah. Today, I would like to help you feel the concept of stable versus moving within your own body. In order for something to move efficiently, it needs something stable to move from. When going into motion, we need something stable to move from, or the energy will ricochet back inside of ourselves. This can be really helpful when we're going into unilateral or one-sided movements, or when moving against something stable like the floor. Start laying on your back and feel what it's like to relax and let gravity take over. If you need a pillow for your head or neck, have one. A rolled up towel can work nicely. But make sure your head and neck feel relaxed. Feel what it's like to not move and let your body come to neutral. Now try picking up one leg. What happened to the rest of your body? Can you keep it stable? Play around. That lifted leg can bend or straighten, go high, go wide, whatever. Just try to keep the rest of your body relatively stable on the floor while you move your other leg around. It will take work to keep the rest of your body still, but when you do keep it still, appreciate how it feels more energy efficient to change the moving leg, almost as if your leg weighs less. Now try your other leg. Keep the pelvis equally heavy on your right and left side, unchanging spine, open chest, heavy, stable leg, but be willing to stand out into it and let it feel alive. Unlike when you were just laying, it will take some work to stabilize. Now lift an arm. What happens to your rib cage? Your head? What does it feel like to just move your arm around and keep the rest of your body stable on the ground? To take this to the next step, try this twisting exercise where you get to use the reach of your moving side to help you roll onto your stomach. Do your best to only move the reaching side and let everything else stay stable until it is their turn to move. Find the order of movement through your body, letting things respond like a ripple through water. This can be done with your legs and your arms. Now let's try this concept on your side. Lay on one side, knees bent at 90-90, 90-degree bend at your knees and 90-degree bend at your hip. Your head can be laid out on your bicep or propped up on your wrist. To get a neutral stacked position, you will need to work a bit into the floor to lift up your bottom waist and lengthen your top waist. Let that help you get more stacked through your spine. Now stretch out your top leg and let it feel long and standing from your body. Can you keep the position of the rest of your body while you do that? Stable arm, stable underside leg, stacked stable spine and hips. Experiment with moving the leg around and feel how much more energy efficient it becomes to move the lifted leg from a stable side-lying position. Having a wall or couch behind you can be helpful for more feedback when you are moving or not moving, but it will also limit your ability to explore movement behind you. You can also play around with movement from your stomach. Keep in mind there is only so much range we have to move our limbs behind us, but it's certainly worth building backline strength. Experiment with lifting your arms and swimming through space. Can you keep what's on the mat smooth and undisturbed? Next, try lifting a leg. Did everything you aren't trying to lift stay stable and steady laid out on the mat? You can add on bent knees or widening your leg from center to challenge the stability of what's staying on the mat. This can be taken into twists, like what we did laying on our back, trying to stay stable and smooth through what's on the floor as we lift and twist through the moving side. The floor can also be something stable for us to move from. The earth is stable, and we can push into it as much as we want to help us move from it. While standing, feel all the different places you can lean your weight on your feet. Play around. As you play, notice which positions are easier for you to push energy into the floor to help your whole self feel taller and lighter, as if someone was trying to pick you up from the floor, but you didn't want to be picked up, so you pushed back into the ground. From that stable spot, play with rolling your spine down and rolling it back up. Try going into a back bend. Are you still pushing into the whole floor? Experiment with twisting. Still stand into the floor. Try side bending. How's that push into the stable floor? Now knee bending. How does it feel to push into the floor here? How about heel lifts? Can you experiment with bending your knees when your heels are lifted? Can you try lifting your heels when your knees are bent? All with the focus and emphasis of pushing into the stable floor. Hands and knees is also a great place to play around with using the floor as your stable side to move from. Get grounded through your hands. Really spread them and press through all of your knuckles. Press down through your legs as well, whether that's with curled toes or a flat foot. After you're nice and stable into the ground, play with taking one limb away and staying grounded through what's still on the mat, stable and stacked through your spine. Maybe try taking 2 limbs away. Are you still able to stay grounded and pushing through what's on the mat? To build up strength for a plank, you can tuck your toes and lift your knees to a hover. Are you still pushing the floor away to stay long and stable through your spine? You can play here, moving in and out of down dog, lifting your hips. You can take a leg back to a hover. You can plant both legs back into a plank position, but always stay grounded in what's pushing into the floor. Keep an eye on hyperextended elbows, which will clog the energy from your strong shoulder into the floor. I hope this helped you feel new layers of support, as well as encouraged your body to move in new ways. As you experiment on your own, take note of what you're trying to keep stable and what should be moving. It will take time to build this sort of awareness and control, but the investment that you're putting into your mindful movement will translate later into more subconscious movement patterns so that you can move through life with ease and grace. I'm Rachel. I'm a mindful movement guide based out of Salt Lake City. Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you learned something. I hope you felt a little more deeply. Just remember to keep moving and getting inside your body.